Hey guys, this is LiciousKid from ClimaxCombo, and today we're doing things a bit differently because this week we are featuring Nisekoi Extra Booster and Sword Art Online 2 Extra Booster. Both of those are being released on the 21st of this month, so fairly soon. And usually when we do leaks of the week, usually we handle the sets that we know respectively. So I usually handle Nisekoi Love Live, Chekkerz usually handles, Guilty Ground, Gargantia, SAO. Not like the other two sets have any extra sets, but whatever. But today, since it's both Nisekoi and SAO, Chekkerz will be joining me today.
Sup?
So yeah, I guess it's, I don't know, first time we've ever done this, but it should be fairly exciting. So yeah, Chekkerz will be handling the SAO cards, and I will be handling the Nisekoi cards. So yeah, for Monday, first off, we have this 3-2 Yuki. Care to read to the rest of the class?
Alright, so 3-2. When this card is played from hand to stage, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's an avatar or net, then it gains the following ability till the end of the turn. When this card reverses its opponent by battle, you can put that card to their clock, so pretty easy clock shoot. And its second effect is when this card declares an attack, all players must place the top card of their deck to the waiting room, and if the card that you placed is higher level than the other card, and then your opponent's card, whatever, you can place the top card of your deck to the waiting room. So you mill 2 instead of 1, which, I mean, that second effect is pretty whack, to be honest. Like, in what situation would that be useful? Like, you...
Wait up. It says you may place the top card of your deck to your waiting room.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be put the top card of your deck to your stock. Can you check the Facebook for me? Because I believe it should be
Really?
After you mill, if yours is higher, then I believe you get a stock. Because yeah, because there's a card like this in Fate Zero, and that's how it was for the Fate Zero variant. So I'm assuming it's the same thing. But can you double check for me since they can't see your screen?
I didn't read the Facebook one.
Yeah, usually I stick to this, but it would make more sense if it was the stock.
Where is it? I can't find it.
Yeah, it should be pretty low. Sorry, guys.
You place the top card of your deck to stock, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so, a little mistranslation, but...
It makes more sense now.
Yeah, okay.
So, you might get a stock, that's cool. Blind stock. But, kinda sucks if you like, hit a climax on your opponent, because that's... Actually, no, that doesn't suck. If you don't hit a climax, because that's one damage that they might have taken. Or you mill them closer to another climax. But besides that, the clock shoot is really easy to pull off. It's fairly reliable since the entire deck's avatar net. So, I mean, it's a consistent clock shooter, but the second effect is questionable. And, I mean, it's green. So far, in SAO, you don't run green, because other cards are just too strong. And it's not like SAO's lacking in endgame at this point. So, all in all, I don't think this card's that good. Like, it's a good clock shoot, but I don't know if I'd run it, to be honest.
Yeah, right. It's not it's not consistent enough with the first effect because you still run the 1/1 yellow event.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't gain power, and then like the third effect might fuck you up. So I don't know. I mean, it's nice I got a clock shoot, but it is definitely a little questionable compared to the rest of the class.
Yeah. At this point, I don't think it's worth running.
Yeah, maybe if we see the rest of green, maybe, but
yeah,
not right now. Anything else you want to say about this?
Not really. Okay,
so on to the next card, which is Nisekoi, so 00500 Chitoge, Lady and Key, the magical gorilla. So I'm not watching second season, but I'm assuming they're adding the...
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Some fan.
Shh. Anyways, I'm assuming they're doing the little magical girl, the Maho Shoujo variant in the... I think there's a spin-off manga. I guess they added a couple of those episodes or chapters to the anime, because I know they introduced Haru, so they're still going on with the story, but I guess they added a couple magical girl episodes. I'm not too sure what's going on, but anyway, 00500 Lady and Key, like always. When it's placed from half to stage, you can mill top 3, and it bonds for Sugumiya, which is the next card, 1045R Sugumiya weapon.
Yeah.
What? It's tight, man. But not really, because no one likes Sugumi. Anyways, it has Clock Encore, and you can place two of your weapon or lady characters to rest. Holy crap, that sucks. This card gains plus 2/5 power until the end of the turn. So I guess the first card obviously bonds for the Sugumiya. So I guess we should go over Sugumiya, because if Sugumiya sucks, then there's no real point in playing Chitoge, the Gorilla Chitoge. So Sugumiya, I don't think is very good, because obviously Sugumiya is made for the weapon and lady deck, which is the Sugumi, Paula, and Chitoge deck, because for her second effect to activate, you need to tap 2 weapon or lady characters. So obviously made for the Chitoge Sugumi variant. And even then, it still kind of sucks, because I think Sugumi, the Sugumi deck, or the Sugumi cards in general, have some pretty decent 1-0s. They have the 1-0 that combos with the +2 soul. They have like the 1-0 yellow that on play reveal top. If it's the climax, she goes to rest. And last week we saw the 1-0 Paula that gets 500 per weapon or key. So it's not like Chitoge deck is lacking in 1-0s. And this one is not very good, because it's super weak on defense, and for it to be strong on offense, you need to tap 2 of your weapon or key character, or weapon or lady characters, and you can't like use multiple Sugumiyas per turn, because only one of them gets the power when you tap 2. So if you have like 2 Sugumiyas, one of them's going to be 7k and the other one's going to be 4-5, and that just really stinks. I think you're better off with the other cards. So I think Sugumiya's really bad, so pretty shitty that she's an R, but well, what can you do? And because of that, I don't think the Magical Gorilla Chitoge is very good, because her bond target sucks. However, I really like Chitoge's first effect, because it is a mill 3, and I do think the mill 3 is really good. And like you can like play Chitoge, you can activate the mill first, and if you mill a Sugumiya, then you do have a target to bond for, because you know you can activate that second. So I think that's really cool. I think it's a really good bonder, but I think the bond target really sucks, unfortunately. If the bond target was good, then I do really think that this would have been a cool combo, but I really do think that Sugumiya sucks. So because of that, I'm not a huge fan of these two, so I definitely wouldn't play either of them. I mean, maybe you could play the Chitoge for on-play mill 3, but I don't think that's good enough, because she doesn't do anything else besides that. So probably not going to be seeing either of these two in like a normal deck or a Chitoge / Sugumi variant. And last card's Attack on Titan, but we're not going over that. So, on to Tuesday.
Alright, so an interesting pair of Lisbeth cards we got here. The 0-0. All of your other Avatar net characters gain 500 power, and when you use an Accelerate, you can pay 1 and choose 1 character from your wave room and add it to your hand. And I'll just go over the 1-0 as well. 4k power. For every Avatar or net character you control, this card gains 500 power and an Accelerate. During the start of your climax phase, you can pay cost. If you do, this card gains +1 level and the following ability. When this card reverses its opponent in battle, you can choose 1 Avatar or net character from your wave room and return it to your hand. So, the 1-0 is quite good, I think.
With the really 104k or the 101? Oh, my bad. The first card's 0-0. My bad.
Yeah, the 4k one, because you know, she can hit 6k, which is decent enough power, and her second Accelerate is probably like the best Accelerate effect I've ever seen, because like you basically plus, and on top of that she gets a level, so like you could reverse level 1 suicides quite easily with this, like if your opponent just happens to play one. But this like level 1 is just really solid and versatile, which makes I think this card's really good, and I would definitely like to try it. The 0-0, however, it's nice that it's an assist. It's a global assist, which is, you know, useful. But her second effect only works when you accelerate, and you do get the plus, but like SAO doesn't have like a big problem with keeping up hand size, so it's not that big a deal. Like if you easily put in the 1-0 and it already fills it up, like makes it easier. So, and there's not very many other accelerate abilities that would be, you'd be able to combo with this that are worth running. And so, like, I'd still probably run a different level 0 assist, like the very first Asuna in 1K with the climax thing. So, I don't think the level 0's very good. There's just Accelerate's still not that good. Like, the only reason the 1-0 Accelerate is good because it's like a crazy effect like that. So, you have anything to add?
Is there any red? Is there any other 500 globals in level 0 for red? I mean, maybe that alone is okay. But you still rather run the one that combos with the climaxes and then 1K?
Yeah. Because you're still going to run the Advice to Party combo, so...
Yeah, that one's really good.
I wouldn't give that up. I would just add this in for, like, a little more...
Accelerate power thingy.
And the +1 level is pretty nice, too.
Okay,
and
fair
it's still
enough.
Strong, so...
Yeah, I think the second Liz is interesting. The 1-0 definitely can make some plays.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, not interesting 1-0 Liz, but on to the next card. We have a 0-0 Raku, 1500 common key trait as per usual. He's a 500 global for key characters, and he has hand encore, which is like whatever, I guess. He's definitely the replacement for the other Raku that's in the choice of 3. I mean, because you're never going to pick the Raku as your choice of 3 unless you're a troll or retarded, but so definitely this Raku is the replacement for that. Definitely not as good as the choice of 3 Raku, but of course they wouldn't make it so. But this Raku, he's okay. He's 500 global, which that alone is pretty good because Nisekoi doesn't really have a 500 global. Well, they did the other Raku, but now that's, gone. So now we have another 500 global for level 0, which is really good, and he has the hand encore, which I guess it's cool. I mean, he's just mainly here for the 500 global, so I think that in itself is good enough, because sometimes if you don't have like a summer Chitoge, or you don't have those PRs, if you don't have like the PR assists, or if you don't have the PR assists, people usually ran like the 0-0 Tachibana that was a 500 in front, and you can tap it to give a key character plus 500. I mean, that one was okay, but I definitely do think that if you don't own the PRs, or if you just don't like the PR assists, then I definitely do think this Raku is a very good assist, or a very good option you can run over any of the other assists that we have currently. So definitely a good card. But even better, this card is even better because of the next card, the Tachibana, the 1035 common in address Marika, police and key. She has a continuous ability of if you have another card with Raku in its name, it gets plus 3k power. So with a Raku, she's a 1065. And of course, before, this was pretty much impossible because Raku sucks. But now that there's a pretty good Raku card, the 0-0-500 global, with the hand encore, once you play this Raku, he'll pretty much be sitting in the back row all game, unless he gets bounced, but that's not too much of a problem because he's costless. So once you play the Raku, he's pretty much going to be there to stay, because he's pretty hard to get rid of. So once you do have him in play, all these Marikas that you draw into or in your hand pretty much becomes 1065, which I think is really good. Yeah, I mean, it's just super solid. Essentially, the 0-0 Raku is the only real playable Raku card in all of Nisekoi as of right now. All the other Raku cards are pretty trash. But this Raku is more than enough to play in conjunction with this Marika. If you're playing this Raku, I think considering this Marika is you should definitely consider running this Marika, because essentially she'll always be 107k. Yeah, you might not draw into the Rakus, and if that happens, then like your Marikas might suck, but Nisekoi, it's super easy to get whatever you want in your hand with Nisekoi, with all the pendants and all the brainstorming and just the salvaging you can do with the deck. So I think this Marika is actually really good, and definitely really good for common. It sucks that you can't run her in the Marika waifu deck that Bushiroad allows us to do, because she needs a Raku, and of course Raku's not allowed in the waifu deck. So of course this card is only gonna be used in like the mainstream Nisekoi decks, and I do think it's it's really good, and it's definitely plausible, because I mean a lot of people run yellow for the 1-0 pendant, or the 1-1 pendant. You could grab a key character, but also with that you could run the 1065 Chitoge, or the 1045 Chitoge, that if you have a pendant in memory, it gets plus 2k. So I mean, those two in conjunction are really good, because you get a 1-0 Chitoge that's 6-5 once you use one pendant, which is really good. But now you could have a 1-0 Tachibana that's always 6-5 if you have a Raku, which is, I think, a bit easier to accomplish than having one pendant in memory. I know it's debatable, but definitely, like, 1-0-6-5 is definitely really good, and this Marika's conditions of hitting the 1-0-6-5 is really easy, so I definitely do think these two cards are a strong contender for the up-and-coming set and for the future of Nisekoi. So I think, yeah, that's all I have to say. You wanna put anything on this, Chekkerz? Nah.
Shit's good.
Yeah, it is. For a common, holy shit. And more Attack on Titan that no one cares about. Woo! And on to Wednesday.
Alright, this 0-0 Yuki, 1k power, to level 0 Suicider, but it's a clock shoot Suicider, so you basically just take the top card of your opponent's clock, put it to the wave room, and send their level 0 to their clock, and hand encore. So, this is kind of whack, to be honest, because, well, she's weak as fuck because of the second effect, and normally it's just like a regular level 0 suicide. Like, it's not better than any other level 0 suicider. Like, the silica one that lets you top check is pretty useful at all points of the game. And I mean, having encore on a suicider isn't very important because it kind of just defeats the purpose of, you know, just trade, let's go. Like, I wouldn't ditch a different level 0 for this card to keep around. She works with anti-heal, right?
No, she doesn't, because
That's stupid.
anti-heal specifically says when you heal off your own ability, but this one is from your opponent's ability, so no, it doesn't work.
That was my one question, and now I know for sure this card sucks. I want to.
Dude, that'd be so OP with.
I wasn't sure. I was like.
Yeah, that was a good question a while back, but I think it was so. Wait, 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry about that. My sister had to ask me something. But anyways, are you done with this, or is there more?
Nah, dude, this shit sucks. I wouldn't use this over anything else.
Not even over the Liz?
If I need green, that's the only time I'd put it in. If I absolutely need green and there's nothing else to run, then I put it in.
Huh. That's true, because green level 0 is pretty crappy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
besides that, I mean, the other level 0 Suiciders are better.
Yeah, that Silica's really good. But yeah, unfortunately, these Yuki cards aren't so hot.
Yeah.
Anyways, there seems to be a lot more Nisekoi this week, I just realized.
Yeah.
Of course, because Nisekoi is better, but anyways. 103k Haru, she's Sweet Straight R. So she's a 500 front assist, and she's a Brainstorm where you can pay 1, rest 2, mill top 4. For every climax you hit, search your deck for a Sweets character, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Of course, as we've seen now, with this booster, they're definitely trying to push Haru, and with that, they're trying to push the Sweets deck, which of course involves Onodera and Haru. So this one, and you know, the Sweets deck, you know, right now isn't really good, so they needed more support, and of course, the old Brainstorm in Nisekoi only affected key characters, so now the Sweet builds needed a Brainstorm, and of course now the Sweet builds got one, and this Haru is the one. And this Haru is definitely not bad, because she's a plus Brainstorm. Well, and that in itself is already pretty good, but she's also a 500 in front assist, so that, you know, her second effect, her Brainstorm effect, already makes her really good, but on top of that, she has a 500 in front assist, so definitely playable, and I would say pretty much staple in the Sweet variant deck. If only it was 500 global, then, you know, it'd be a lot better, but unfortunately, it's only 500 in front, so what can you do? But definitely a solid card. It has a little synergy with the next card, a 00500 common, Sister in the Bath Kosaki, Sweets and Key trait. What she does is when she's played from hand to stage, look at up to top 2 cards of your deck, then return them to the top of them in their original order, and it bonds with the assist/brainstorm Haru that we just talked about. And honestly, this Kosaki is whatever. The Kosaki is very weak, but that's to be expected of a bonder. She bonds for the 500, you know, globals, or 500 assist/brainstorm, which is cool because I just said that the Haru is pretty good. However, I don't think she's needs to be a bond target, because with these assist slash brainstorms, like, you only really need 1 or 2 of them in the back, and you should be good to go for the rest of the game. Like, you don't really... if you're gonna bond for something, I think you should be bonding for an attacker or something that's more... how do I say, reusable, or something more... I don't know. Because this Haru, like, if you already have 2 Harus in your back row, then there's no real point of bonding for another one, because it doesn't do anything in the front row. And yeah, it just doesn't really do anything in the front row. I mean, if you run 2 to 3 Harus, I think by the time you hit level 1, you should be able to at least have 1 in your hand. And if you have at least 1 in your hand by level 1, then you can definitely search out the other one with, like, you know, brainstorming. So I don't think the bond is necessary at all. And of course, the Kosaki's first effect, where you can look at top 2, it's nothing too good either, because you can't even rearrange them. Like, you can't put them to the bottom, you can't rearrange them, like put the second one on top. All you get to just do is, like, see what's coming, which is, I guess, kind of cool. I guess it's supposed to synergize with the Haru, because if you see, like, 2 climaxes off the top, or at least 1 climax off the top, then you can play Haru and brainstorm and then just plus off that. But honestly, I don't think it's good enough. The Kosaki is just too weak. Her first effect isn't good enough. I mean, yeah, you can trigger check with it, but I don't know. I don't think you should be really wasting deck space for that. And of course, like, the bond target is not good, and her first effect is just nice, but I don't think it's really necessary. Maybe if I needed, like, 1 extra sweets character, because, you know, you do have to run a sweets deck, and not all the sweet cards are good. Maybe if I needed, like, 1 extra just tech sweet card, that maybe I would just run one of these Kosakis in conjunction with my Harus, but definitely I don't think this Kosaki is necessary for the sweets build. I really do think the Haru is good, though. You should definitely be running 2 to 4 Harus. I would say 2 to 3 Harus. Yeah, 2 to 3 Harus definitely for the sweets build, but Kosaki, I would say, they're definitely optional. And that's it for Wednesday. Right? Yes. On to Thursday. Got some silicas.
Alright. It's 1-0 silica. So, when this card is played from hand, you can discard a card and choose 1 character with silica or a pina in its name from your waiting room and add it to your hand. And her other effect is a change. Pay 3, discard a card, and send her to the waiting room. It's a climax phase change. And you choose 1 of the Battle Stance Silica, which is the level 2, following her, and play it from your waiting room and put it onto whatever her border was. And since this is the change target, I'll go over that as well. 9-5. When this card is played from your hand to the stage, you can pay the stated cost, which is to discard a card from your hand to your waiting room. And if you don't, then she kills herself. And her other effect, when this card is played from your waiting room to your stage, and you have another character with Pina in its name on your stage, this card gains the following ability until the end of this turn. When this card reverses its opponent in battle, you may choose 1 avatar or net or dragon character from your waiting room and return it to your hand. So, pretty heavy cost for the change, since it is a climax phase change and it's from 1 to 2, so 3 stock, that's a shit ton.
And you gotta discard a card.
Yeah. I mean, it's consistent, because when she plays, level 1 plays herself, you can just get this card. Oh no, you play her from waiting room, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But you could get that Pina or something that you're missing, I don't know. This combo is mostly just for silica decks, but I don't think it's very good, because I don't think the silica level 1s were that weak in the first place, and getting this level 2 out that early for so much stock, I don't know. I don't think it's very worth it. Like, you could easily just use whatever you're going with, like the 1-1 silica that's 7.5, or I think there were a couple 1-0s that were decent enough to run. Let's see what else.
And the second silica only gets her second ability when she's played from waiting room.
Yeah.
The fuck
so, like, what's the point?
Yeah,
you can't
I thought
play
it was
any
time, but now it's like, wow.
Like, it's so bad to play her at level 2, because then you have to discard a card. If you play her from hand, like, you're sacking 1 just for whatever power by level 2, because, you know, other decks have changed, so they could be, you know, pretty damn strong, so she might not even stack up to them. And, I mean, I guess it's nice that you can salvage on her turn when she kills something, but to be honest, I don't think this combo is very good.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just not good.
It's too heavy for what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't do much for you anyways.
You think,
you don't need it.
You think the first Silica is okay just for her on play, or I don't remember how easily they can get a Pinya. But she can grab a Silica too, so...
Yeah.
So she can grab any of her cells.
There are other ways. Like, there's a level 0 that bonds for the Pina. There's...
That's true, but she can grab a Silica too.
Yeah. But then what else does she do?
Well, I mean, you could just use her for hand filter, because you could discard anything, and you could get a Silica or Pinya.
You could still do that.
Yeah.
She has some worth for the Silica deck.
So maybe just Tech 1 or 2 of her in a Silica waifu, but definitely that change. Man, that change freaking sucks.
Yeah.
God. Wow, that's really bad. But anyways, unfortunate, more lackluster cards this week for SAO. Anything else you want to say about that, or?
Nah.
Alright.
That's it.
On to Nisekoi. So we got a 2-1 Tachibana, 5k common, police and key trait. What she does is when this card is reversed and the level of the card battling opponent is 2 or lower, you may place that character to reverse. And then she has a startup where you can pay 1 and she gets plus 1k power until the end of the turn. And when this card reverses its opponent in battle, you may place that character to the top of its owner's deck.
Oh my god.
Right? Isn't this card broken? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, shit's fucking insane.
Anyways, this Marika is meh. Definitely for the key or for like the normal decks. I don't think you should be running this because every Nisekoi deck and its mother runs the level 3 Onodeta that comes out at level 2. You have 2 pendants in memory. That card is just too good. You don't really need a level 2 game if you have that level 3 Onodeta. So because of that, I don't really think you should be running this 2-1 Tachibana in the key variant deck. And so I would say this card is more reserved for the Tachibana waifu deck that, Bushiroad allows us to do. But I think it's getting hit soon. I believe it's speculated that it's going to get hit soon because, having 4 Tachibana is still really stupid. Anyways, so I would say this is reserved for your Tachibana waifu deck. And I guess it's okay. I never really played a Tachibana waifu deck, but I do believe that Tachibana's level 2 options are fairly lackluster. I would say if Tachibana... Like, in this booster, I was hoping Tachibana got a really good level 3 that came out at level 2. So that way, the Tachibana waifu deck would be utterly broken. But Bushiroad saw through that, and of course they didn't. Or at least they haven't yet, so maybe, next week they'll reveal some broken card. But right now, all we got is this one. Because right now, I think for level 2 Tachibana, all they have is like there's like a 2-2 or a 2-1 that combos with the stock 1 soul, I think. But I don't think that one's too amazing. So, this one is not bad for the Tachibana waifu deck. If your opponent has other level 2s, then of course this one can't keep up because it is level 2 Suicider, which is okay. And her second effect is okay. You can pay 1, and then she gets plus 1k, which isn't really relevant because she is a Suicider, and even then she's only a 216k. But when you do kill something with her with the second ability, after you use the second ability, then you can put that on top of his owner's deck. So, I mean, you can use it at level 2, and, you can push for a little more damage at level 2, which is nice, because at level 2, that's when damage starts becoming a little scarier. You can use it at level 3 if your opponent is careless. They have, like, a level 2 or level 1 in the front row. You can play this 2-1 Tachibana, use her effect, crash, and then that way they have something back on top. You can do something like that, but of course, if your opponent has, like, a level 0 or a very weak level 1 in the front row, you can play this Tachibana, pay 1, kill it and not suicide, because all Marika has to do is kill something, and then you can put that on top. And then next turn your opponent does have to deal with a 2-1 Suicider, which can be problematic for them. So I mean, I guess there's a couple ways that this card can be cool, but honestly, if you're running the waifu deck, then I would definitely say you could run a couple of these Tachibanas. You could run like a 2 to 3. I definitely don't think you should be running 4 of these Suiciders in a Tachibana waifu deck, but I would say 2 to 3 is pretty good in a waifu deck. However, in the normal key variant deck, I think you're better off with the 3-2 Onodeta that comes out early. So, yeah. And on to Rudy. At least she's getting a card. But anyways, I better not pull like another triple R of this. Oh, never mind. This is an extra booster, so there's no triple Rs. Anyways, 2-1 8k common, classes and sports like always. If you have 6 or more cards in your hand, she gets plus 15. So if you have 6 or more cards in your hand, she's a 2195. But definitely, like all the duty cards, don't run them because A, she has 0 synergy with any card in the set. So duty is pretty crappy already right off the bat for that very reason. And for that very reason alone, you shouldn't consider her. But then on top of that, once again, like she's not bad. 2195 is pretty impressive if you have 6 or more cards in your hand, and that's pretty easy to do in Nisekoi because Nisekoi Plus is like no other. So her condition is fairly easy, but you know, like I said, she has no synergy with any card in the set, and also, like I said, with the previous card, the Tachibana, Nisekoi already has 3-2 Onodera that comes out at level 2. You have 2 or more pendants, which is easy enough to fulfill, and because of that, like I said, Nisekoi doesn't really need a level 2 beater because the level 3 Onodera is just that good. So, Ludi sucks, like all the other Ludi cards. And lastly, 1-1 Onodera, 1-1-7K, common, sweets and key. When she's playing for Handy Stage, she loses 1500 power, so she'll be a 1-1-5-5. And then she has Hand Encore. It's why are you laughing? You think it sucks?
Kinda.
I think it's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. I mean, you can play her first, and then you could side, and then she'll always be a 1-1-7K forever. And then she has Hand Encore, so she'll live, which is not bad. But I mean, you know, I don't think it's unplayable. I think it's okay. I think if you like 1-1-7Ks with Hand Encore, she's pretty viable. But I think, or I would prefer the 1-0-4K that gets 500 per key characters with the Clock Encore. So if you have full field, she's a 106K with Clock Encore. I would personally run that Onodera over this Kosaki because, or I would rather run the 1-0 Clock Encore with the 1-1 Hand Encore because I think the 1-0 Clock Encore is more stock efficient, definitely more stock efficient, and definitely more hand efficient, and I think I value that at level 1 over the 1-1 7K because the 1-1 7K is more stock inefficient and, you know, hand inefficient, but you get a bit more power with the 1-1. But either way, I would say I personally would prefer the 106K Clock Encore because Clock Encore and costless and 6K, I think that's really good, and also the 106K Clock Encore, it does have a bonder, which is a duty. Damn, I just said all the duty cards suck, but there's at least one decent with duty card, which is the bonder for the 106K. So I think overall, I personally think the 106K is better than this 117K, but I don't think this 117K is awful, as Chekkerz makes it out to be.
It's not awful.
It's okay.
It's just, I don't know. It takes a turn to come online. That always, like, what if you don't get any use out of it? They can just play a level 1 Suicide.
Then you Hand Encore it.
Hand Encore, like you just lost a card that did like nothing.
Hey, they crashed, and then you Encore, so you won for one, essentially. Nah. Alright, I personally am not going to run it, so you know, I don't think I'll ever convince Chekkerz that it's okay, but you know, we'll just leave it at that. It's okay, and I definitely think it's player's preference. And lastly, onto the last card. Oh my god, that SAO card, though.
That's right. Look at him. Double key to waifu.
Oh my god.
When your other characters are sent from your stage to your waiting room, and this card is in your backstage, you may pay the stated cost. If you do, place that character back to its original border, and you know the cost is to sack him. And you can place them to rest. Them, I don't know. Choose one of your characters. It gains 1k power to the end of the turn. It's a pretty neat card. Cause it's like Pseudo Encore, so you get to keep some good cards.
Is this the first Pseudo Encore they have? That's not Pinya?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't remember, to be honest.
I think so. Right?
Yeah.
Anyways.
The power is nice. 1k is something that's pretty big, but it has to be in your back row, and I don't know, I don't think I'd fill up my back row with this. I'd rather have it with other stuff like, you know, an assist or a brainstormer that I need to keep around, because it's just a lot more useful, because it's not that hard to draw like your level 1s, or like the stuff that you would Encore. You have plenty of backups, so like a lot of times I don't find my stuff dying. Not a lot of times, but most of the time, since the level 1 backups are so good, your stuff doesn't essentially die, and you lose part of your hand, but you get to kill something instead. So I don't think pseudo encore is very important, and I don't know. I don't think I'd run this, to be honest. I'd much rather have other stuff in my back row for the utility and the power.
Yeah, I don't think there's like anything worthwhile saving in SAO because everything's pretty expendable. Because you got the Invitation to Party Asana, which has the Bonder. I mean, maybe you could use this with Imprisoned Queen because it's a Kirito, but I mean, she has Hand Encore, right? Or does she have Clock Encore? Does she have Encore at all?
Yeah, Hand Encore.
Right? She has Hand Encore, so I guess this isn't too necessary. So, like, I don't know, everything in SAO is pretty expendable until level 3. But at that point, I don't know if you really care about your level 3s.
Yeah, no.
I mean, maybe you could use him with the 3-2 Kirito we saw last week. The one that could come out level 2. He's like the only thing you probably might care about until level 3. Because if he dies, that kind of sucks. But, I mean...
He's pretty strong.
Yeah, he's really strong on
defense.
defense.
So as long as you're just careful with him when you're attacking, it's like, you should stick around.
Yeah, so I guess, I mean, I like what they're trying to do, but I don't really see it happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, if I definitely could guess a player's preference, maybe just 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But...
If you like, I don't know. I don't think...
You wouldn't run it?
I wouldn't use Pseudo Encore.
But...
Like, I don't feel like it would help that much.
Yeah, but definitely not a terrible card.
Yeah. It's a decent card.
Yeah, I agree. I guess that's all for that. And lastly, we have a fairly interesting set of cards for Nisekoi. This one might take a while because I think there's a lot to it. But first off, I guess we have the 3-2 10K R, Sweets and Key, Pajama Party Kozaki. She climax combo with the Contract Complete, which is right here. It's stock 1 soul, so put a blue card in your waiting room in your stock, and all characters get +1 soul. So it combos with the stock 1 soul, and so when it attacks with the stock 1 soul, and all your characters are sweet traits. Switch your deck for up to 1 sweet character, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck, and this card gets +2 5 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. And then it has an auto ability of during the start of your opponent's draw phase, and this card is in the front row, choose one of your characters and gets +4k power until the end of the turn. I guess I'll go over the next card first because it does synergize with the level 3. So the next card is a 2-1-5k R, magical, I'm not going to pronounce that, Kozaki-chan, Sweets and Key. She is a level assist in front, and she combos with the Contract Complete, which is the stock 1 soul once again. When you play the stock 1 soul, you can pay cost, which is put her to the waiting room. If you do, choose one of your Pajama Party Kozaki from your hand and put it onto the original border of this card. And lastly, once again, Contract Complete is a Climax common. So overall, I do think this is a fairly interesting set of cards. Of course, as you can see, once again, this is for the Sweets deck. Because for the Key variant deck, like I said in yesterday's leaks, or I guess in August 6th leaks, 3-2 Onodeta is just super powerful and it's just really easy to get off. So yeah, like you rather be running that over this one because this one is a bit more difficult. This one is a bit more difficult to get off. And of course, as you can see, Kozaki, when she climax combo, she can only grab sweet characters. And for her to climax combo to go off, you need to have a full field of sweet characters. So I think it's pretty obvious at this point that this Kozaki is, of course, for the sweet variant decks. And that's good because, if they're pushing for the sweet variant build, then of course, the sweet deck needed to have, they showed us some pretty good level 1s. Level 0s are pretty decent already from the first booster, so I don't think they're too... Actually, I can't really remember, but, level 0 is already pretty decent from what I remember from the first booster, so they didn't really need that. But they gave them a couple of decent level 1s, but, what they really needed was a good level 2 game, and, Bushiroad has done so because the other level 3 Onodetas in the first booster was the 3-2 Onodeta that worked with your 2 pendants in memory. And honestly, if you're running the sweet deck, you really shouldn't be running any pendants because the pendants only synergize with key characters. And yes, Onodeta is a key character, so it probably synergizes with half your deck, but I don't think that's good enough. And honestly, with the sweet variant deck, because I would say you shouldn't run the pendants because A, it only works with half your deck. but B, because if you're not running the pendants, you could be running the 2-1 free refresher that is also on the choice of 3, because the 2-1 free refresh is super good. And also the 2-1 free refresh is an Onodera, so she is a sweet character as well. So I would say the 2-1 free refresh is the better option. So yeah, and so like the 3-2 Onodera that synergized with the pendants wasn't really gonna work for the sweet variant deck, so there's that. And then there's the other level 3 Onodera in green that could come out early that combos with the gold bar, but once again I don't think that one is really good either, because the gold bar combo only grabs key characters, it doesn't grab sweet. So once again, yes, you can grab half your deck because you can grab all the Onoderas, but I think having the more sweet synergy is definitely better. So yeah, I would say this is definitely the only option the sweet build has for a level 2 game plan, and I would say it's a pretty good one, because this Kosaki, the 2-1 Kosaki, first of all, is a level assist, and that's not bad. Having a level assist is always good. However, the first booster had the 2-1 assist that was 1k global, and when you use the startup, you could give a character, I think, plus 1k. That one was already pretty good, so I didn't really think they needed a level assist, but I guess it's nice that they did get a level assist. So here's the level assist. It's just a normal level assist, but it does combo with stock 1 soul, and it's pretty good. It's really cheap on stock, because you play the 2-1, you play the stock 1 soul, so like the one stock that you played for the 2-1 has already been paid for itself by the stock 1 soul, so it's kind of free. And when you do, you put the 2-1 to the waiting room, and then you have to put the 3-2 Kozaki from your hand. So it is a little harder, because the Kozaki has to be in your hand, and of course the Climax has to be in your hand, so you have to keep 2 cards in your hand at all times when you hit level 2. So that can be a little difficult, but I don't think it's that hard. And if you do, I think you get rewarded pretty well, because when you play the stock 1 soul is a minus in hand size. However, when you play the Kosaki that turn, it could still attack, and when it attacks, it once again combos with the stock 1 soul. And then, of course, all your characters should be sweets, and if you do, you could search for a sweet character. So the minus that you got off the stock 1 soul is negated because of her climax combo, and then she gets plus 2/5 power until the end of your opponent's next turn, so she'll be 12/5 before assist, which is pretty strong. And of course, during your opponent's draw phase, if that's not enough for you, during your opponent's draw phase, you can choose any of your characters in the front row, and you could give one of them 4k power until the end of your opponent's next turn. It's just any of your characters, so you can choose any of your front row, so you can choose the level 3 Kosaki herself, and of course you can choose any of the other 2 characters in the front row, making it very difficult for your opponent to deal with your cards. And because of that, I think this card is really awesome, and I'm pretty excited to try it. If I pull enough sweet cards, if I pull enough Haru/Kosakis in my boosters, then I will probably make a sweet variant deck.
Oh, dude.
What's up?
All Kosakis are sweets.
Yeah, all the Kosakis are sweet. That would suck if they weren't.
From the last set, too.
Yeah, from the last set, man. They knew what they were.
Thank God.
Right? Why? Because that would be so stupid if it wasn't, but it works out pretty well. I do think the sweet deck should be pretty good, if not at least fun. You think anything you want to say on these set of cards?
4k power is annoying.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to try the new 3-2 Kosaki.
I hate you.
You didn't even play against it yet, fool.
I can just tell it's gonna get annoying, but it's pretty cool.
I don't know, it's the worst girl deck doll, so
it's fucked up.
I'm just keeping it real, and you know it's true.
I'm not gonna say.
But I have those Onodera sleeves still for some odd reason, but now I can finally use them for this. But yeah,
Cool.
I think that wraps up this week. Pretty okay week. I mean, SAO was whatever, but honestly, a lot of the Nisekoi cards are whatever. No, actually, no. I'm not gonna lie. The Nisekoi cards are pretty cool / interesting. How many extra boosters did you reserve, anyways?
4? No.
4?
What's the normal amount? 6.
We
No,
usually
I got
get
6.
6.
I
got 6 too, but maybe I gotta bump that shit up to 8. I don't remember.
Nah, dude, this is good.
I don't know, but I want a playset of... No, I don't need a playset of Kosaki. It's probably like 3, huh? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. No, I think... We'll see. But anyways, that's all for this week, guys. Not too bad for Nisekoi, and it was pretty meh for SAO. But, definitely not all the cards are bad. Some of them, a lot of these cards are just like, kind of like player's preference at this point. Like the 1-0 Liz is kind of like if you like the 1065 or the 104K better.
Yeah.
And the 3-2 Yuki's definitely not bad because she's just a clock shooter, so. A lot of them, none of them are like super good, but they're definitely not bad either.
They're just adding more stuff. Like there's just way more options now.
Yeah, because both of these sets, like
for SAO
and Nisekoi, are already so strong. They can't really, they can't really do too much with the set, or else shit's gonna go to hell.
Shit already went to hell with one set of Nisekoi, so
that's true. Shit's already, and it's still kind of in hell because the deck's still really strong. I should play that deck more again. Anyways, that's all for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked how it was me and Chekkerz this week. If you guys like it like this, let us know. If not, then you guys, you don't have to say anything or let us know. But yeah, with that out of the way, I guess until next time, guys.
Peace.